A lot of staff very excited to have Gary V on the show today, and I've got to admit, like, I knew who Anthony Robbins was. I was listening to cassettes back in the day, and this guy helped me achieve my potential, and all the young'uns out there and the oldies are all now onto Gary V, and they're like, Anthony who? Gary V's the go now. Gary, welcome to the show, my friend.
Welcome, Gary.
Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
We're
welcome.
on Facebook Watch right now because so many people want to hear what you have to say. You've got a huge following.
Thank you. I'm flattered. Just landed from New York City, right to the radio station.
Wow.
Pumped to be here.
Oh,
See, that's something I wouldn't do. This is what I need to change in my life. If I flew from New York to here, at least 20-hour flight,
Right.
then you're sitting in the traffic, peak hour traffic, mind you. I would need to lay down in a couple of days to get over that. But here you are, full of beans, ready to rock and roll from the moment you arrive.
I think this is one big game of self-awareness. I was gifted with a lot of energy.
Right.
That's just the truth. Some people are pretty, some are funny, some are fast.
Yeah.
And I think for everybody who's listening, so many people spend all their time trying to fix something they're not
Right.
instead of tripling down on something they are. So for me, it's easy to fly all around the world and go.
Yeah.
For other people, it isn't. And so you should lay down. You don't have to change
I don't
that,
have to be like you. I can be my own pace.
but you need to figure out what you're best at naturally and
Yeah.
go so hard at that.
Sex.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, then you should probably leave right now and get into it.
oh, he would if he could, trust me.
I believe
Any
it.
second now. Any second now.
Wow, okay. So how did you start, getting these massive followers? Where did it all begin? YouTube?
You know, it's interesting. I was always an entrepreneur, always selling things, and my dad had a liquor store, and I fell in love with the fact that people collected wine. So the first 5 times I ever came to Australia, it was going to, part Margaret River, going to, having sent me on from Hunter Valley. So I love being here. But nonetheless, I launched one of the first e-commerce wine businesses. So in 1996, 23 years ago, I launched an e-commerce wine business in America.
Do you still have this going
We do.
now?
Still a
Wow.
family business. So that went really well. And then when YouTube came out, I really knew that was the next wave. Not email, not e-commerce, not blogging. I started a wine show. And then Twitter came out a year later, and I used it to promote the wine show and became one of the first people to have 1 million followers on Twitter. And that really started this whole thing.
Wow.
So being in first, having the ability to think and see what's going to take off, that's a skill of yours.
Yes, it is. However, for everybody who's listening, who's late to Instagram or is just finding out about TikTok or wants to do a vlog on YouTube but thinks it's way too late, first is good.
Yeah.
But best is always better.
Best is always best.
So even though there's 800 people doing a cooking show right now, if you come out tomorrow and you're better than everybody, more knowledgeable, more charismatic, more interesting, you will win. And I see a lot of people not trying because they see all these people doing the same thing that they're in.
And they think, oh, too late.
They have 1 million followers. I don't even have an account. I'm not going to do it. And so they're always saying no. And for me, this is a big game of yes. And best, I've watched this space for 15 years now. Best always wins.
Right.
I resonate with that. Do you know why? And I'll talk to you about this because you've got the wine business. I don't drink, right? But all my friends do, and everyone I know, and pretty much everyone does. And everyone I saw a story on CNN about a sangria company. And some guy said, I'm going to do some sangria. And I thought, and I asked some friends that own a little wine business, what do you think of sangria? And they're like, it's just junk wine, and they cover it up with the flavour of fruit. And I said, what if we did a high-end sangria using only the best Australian grapes and make it good rather than just the junk wine? And they went, we'll give it a go. And then we only started this 6 months ago, and it immediately sold out.
I love that.
It immediately, I was so surprised. Now I'm drinking it now to celebrate. And is this what you're saying? Like, do the best.
Well, not only that, but to jump on that, to make it real for everybody who's listening, the number one way to start a good business, in my opinion, is to make something for yourself.
Right.
Scratch your own itch.
Right.
Right? Like, if you want it, we don't have that many different characteristic traits. If you want something that doesn't exist, it usually means thousands, 10,000s, hundreds of thousands, or if it's a big idea, millions of people do too.
Yeah.
Right.
And, everyone's trying to chase the next thing instead of paying attention to the way they live. And what are you missing?
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. You're right.
You know what you're missing, Jackie?
Yeah.
A good fake tan.
What do you mean? I don't have fake tan on right
not
now.
today.
I think Jackie looks amazing.
No.
Thanks,
She's a
Gary.
good. Are you single?
I'm not,
He's married.
Sorry.
but I'm just being charming.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
sweet.
appreciate
I like
that.
that.
Thank you.
I like
Yeah.
that. But you need a good fake tan because a lot of women they need good fake tans. It's not
Yes.
easy to get.
No, it's not easy to get, but it is a
I
saturated
mean, speaking
market.
of fake tans, you, my friend, could probably use a really good fake tan.
100%.
I don't know if this is the lighting, but like
The
you
lighting's no
definitely
good.
can.
I'm a
Bit
mess. I'm
pasty
a
over
mess.
there, isn't he? What about things we're fearful of doing because fear of failure?
Well, that's because everybody cares about other people's opinions.
oh,
Like,
that's
the
why.
foundational aspects of my happiness is predicated that I do not care what other people think of me, not because I'm audacious.
Yeah.
It's because I know that they don't fully know me the same way I don't fully know anybody. Everybody's scared because they're worried about what their parents, older siblings, spouse, partner, or best friends are going to think about their failure. I don't care when I lose. It's my loss.
Sure.
That has nothing to do with you. Everybody I know is losing. So if you're casting judgment on what I failed at, that's fine. That's cute.
But you're not doing anything good for yourself while you're doubting others.
I'm
either.
just not interested in your judgment because everybody sucks at something else too.
Yeah, okay. We
So
all fail at some point, you're right.
That's where people are getting crippled. They're not doing things because they actually care about what other people think.
Hey, young Pedro here used to
Yes.
work for us. Now
I'm
he's
aware.
he's moved on. Pedro.
He's crushing it on TikTok, by
He's
the
doing,
way.
oh, are you on
Yeah.
TikTok?
TikTok's a shit, man.
Is it? You love
Wait a minute,
that?
Pedro can just come in like that?
Yeah, he can do whatever.
I
Yeah.
like this place.
I joined
job,
because
Pedro.
I saw Gary V's videos
Yeah.
talking about TikTok. This was maybe like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And then I got an account. It just shot up. And then,
Really?
yeah, just crazy stuff, man.
And that's an example of first. TikTok's still looming. TikTok's the first platform, used to be known as Musical.ly, got bought. It popped 3 years ago. It's popped back up in the last year. And it's the first platform that has a chance to really push Instagram. As Instagram right now is the establishment in the
Sure,
culture.
yeah.
TikTok may or may not, but it's at enough scale and it's young enough
Yeah.
to do to Instagram what Instagram did to Facebook.
God,
Yeah.
And so
right.
you've got to pay attention to it right now. And most people are listening right now like, wait a minute, that's what my 11-year-old daughter's
Yeah.
on. But
Sure.
don't forget, that's what we said about Facebook. That's what we said about Instagram. You know, these things start young and then eventually they age up.
Wow.
What do you do on TikTok then?
I try to create content that I think skews a little bit younger.
Yeah.
So I'm putting out, a lot of content when I'm hanging out with artists and hip hop artists and things of that nature.
Yep.
Or just silly crap. Or honestly, just trying to talk to the 8 to 13-year-old entrepreneurs, which there are a ton.
There are a lot, right?
There are a lot. And just trying to remind them of the foundational things I'm trying to tell 60-year-olds, which is like, don't listen to other people.
Yeah.
So because there's so many social media platforms,
Yes.
is it better to be on them all, and it takes time if
Yes.
you're on them all to create content?
Yes.
Or are you better off focusing on just one and making that one
Both. Meaning,
right?
it's completely predicated on your talent. So if you're great at writing, you have to really look at LinkedIn. It's exploding too. LinkedIn is now for everything, not just business content.
Oh, I thought LinkedIn was only like a new Rolodex.
Same.
No, LinkedIn for 10 years was just a recruiting tool to get jobs. Now the content there has exploded. And I would argue that LinkedIn is the most similar thing to Facebook 5 to 7 years ago.
Wow.
And I think a lot of people should be creating there. So if you're a great writer, LinkedIn's incredible.
Okay.
If you're super funny, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, all those can play. If you're quick and witty, Twitter is incredibly powerful. So
yeah.
to me, this is a talent game. Some people should just be on Twitter and Instagram. Some people should only do a vlog. Some people should only have a podcast. Some should only write and do white papers on LinkedIn. This is a self-awareness game. But if you can be on
on them
all,
all. Yeah.
you should, because the attention of our society continues to get sucked in to these 7 to 10 platforms.
Yeah.
And this is the future, whether people
It's
like
the
it or
current.
not.
Do you
it's
know-
the current
It's
as
the
well.
current.
Yeah, and the future.
Correct.
And Kyle has no social media at all.
Oh, I'm 47 though. Why bother?
Well, because you're young.
Yeah, well, yeah.
You're going to live another 60 years, Kyle.
Pedro, I know why you love this bloke. I
mean,
now
it's
instantly
true.
love him.
Like, honestly, I'm glad we just got to that.
Yeah.
It is the number one thing that I'm now passionate about is people's inability to contextualize time. Kyle and I'm 43. We grew up in an area where, 63, 72, it seemed
yeah.
old when we were 9, 13, right?
Absolutely, it did.
There was no 47-year-old 25 years ago looking as cool as you are right now. A black-on-black Dodgers hat with a hoodie. Do you know what 47-year-olds
No.
looked like when we were old? Like dead.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah,
80.
yeah.
You're right.
Brother,
Sweater
they-
vests.
Yeah,
You're
they've given up
with
on fashion.
With modern medicine,
Yeah.
you're probably going to live another 60 years.
Oh, wow.
So you and all the 40-year-olds
doubt
driving
that.
to work right now, all the 50-year-olds driving to work,
Yeah.
all the 60-year-olds driving to work are kind of like wrapping it up. And I'm like,
No.
dude, it's halftime. You're probably just getting to the final minutes of halftime.
Oh my God! I've just got movement downstairs because I feel alive
It's
again.
true.
I feel
it's
alive.
True. Like, listen, you're unbelievably entertaining. We're on radio right now, but on some real shit.
Yeah.
Like, this is real. Like, you're not halfway home. I don't understand why people are wrapping it up when they're not like, you're in the prime. Like, now you should start doing stuff.
I'm a beast. I feel reinvigorated.
It's true. It's true. And
I'm
by the way,
gonna open an Instagram account.
And on that point, brother, and on that point, you know how many 20-year-olds get out of university and think they have to have life figured out?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have life figured out.
No idea. I'm a mess.
And so I don't understand why there's this pressure to, like, between 22 and 30, I think everybody should go completely rogue and try as many different things and figure themselves out, not finally be a grown-up. University's not teaching you anything real.
Yeah, that's
you have to
true.
go live a little bit from 22 to 30 to get a sense. You have to taste things. Maybe you're a great cook. Maybe you are a content producer. Maybe you should start a podcast. Maybe you should start selling stuff on Shopify. The internet has changed everything.
Yeah.
We are struggling to understand that. The change is that big. And I think it's crazy that we go conservative in our 20s to, go real and appease mommy and daddy. I think that's the time to go rogue and do new things.
I'm going rogue now. I'm going to allow someone to put their finger in my butt and everything this week.
There you go.
I've never allowed it, just so you know.
You should definitely try it.
Yeah, the little finger. I'm not going in
Pinky.
with the thumb. I'll
One's
tell you that.
Pinky.
Start small.
Start small.
Yeah.
Sorry, I relate everything back to a sexual thing.
Listen, I'm super comfortable in that environment. I think that's interesting context.
Yeah, how many fingers are you up to?
Two.
Two.
But I think
Amazing.
I think that sex and money are two things that humans don't talk about.
Yeah.
And I think the quicker we get into talking more about it, we'll just be happier.
Oh, well, that's all Kyle talks about.
Well, that's right.
Yeah.
And now that he's realized he's actually just at halftime, think about what's about to happen with Kyle's behavior now that he realized he
my
hasn't even
God.
started.
I am.
Look,
I am
look behind the
unhinged.
glass. Everybody's freaking out.
You
He hasn't
guys
even
are worried? Are you
started.
worried?
Hasn't even started.
Kyle, I've got your name ready on Instagram. You just give me the word and we'll activate
No, we have to
it.
buy it off the
Kyle,
little turkeys.
Kyle,
kid
by
that
the way,
bought-
if
yeah.
you care about sex and you're not on Instagram, you're
Yeah.
making one of the great mistakes of all time.
Right. I told
It
him
is-
that. I
DM
said
is
that.
the gateway drug to the entire ecosystem of modern
I
sex.
got a girlfriend. Girlfriend says no Insta.
I get it.
Yeah, you know
Makes
what I'm-
sense.
Look, Gary, stick around because we've got a lot of calls. They want
Okay.
to ask you some things, if you don't mind.
By the
don't
way,
mind.
if you want to go and see Gary V, I feel alive just by this couple of minutes.
Yes.
If you want to go and see the tour, head to Gary. Now, how do you pronounce his name? Gary
Vaynerchuk.
Vaynerchuk.
Try.
Gary Vaynerchuk.
Nope. Try again.
Vaynerchuk.
Nope. Go again.
Vaynerchuk.
Nope. Go ahead.
Vaynerchuk.
Nailed it.
Vaynerchuk.
Vaynerchuk.
It's
How'd
what
you
a
get
great name.
Vaynerchuk?
Thank you.
I don't know.
It's spelled with a B. How's the B and N? Is that
Well,
just
I don't know. I'm just,
I think he was thinking
spitballing.
vibrator. Like, you know what he's
You
doing.
know what
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
thinking.
You know what he's
Okay.
thinking.
Actually, when I thought vein, I thought something else.
Of course you did.
You know
You
what
mean
I'm
like
saying.
on your penis?
Yeah,
or
yeah,
is that where you're
exactly.
going? I just wanted to make sure I
That's
knew.
where the most veins are.
I
aren't they?
understand. I think so.
Gary Vaynerchuk. Oh, I've screwed it up.
You had it.
Spell it out. Spell it
Gary
out. Jake.
Vaynerchuk, spelt VayberChuk.com. And if you want to ask him a question, you can call
That was
us.
completely wrong. It's VaynerChuk.
Oh, good one,
No C
guys.
before
Well,
the K.
I
Jesus, what's going on down here?
I
We
don't
don't
know.
know.
Do you guys have your shit together? What,
No.
Pedro? You didn't have these
Yeah.
guys ready? Like,
Nah,
you
look.
know, you're worried about TikTok over here. You can't get my fucking name right? Like, what's going on around here? I mean, Jesus. Call in. I'll answer questions.
Yeah, ring in 13-1065 is the number.
This is the Kyle and Jackie O Show.
Gary V is here. Man, no wonder this guy is killing it all over the world. In between all those ads and the songs and everything, Gary's not chilling and relaxing. Gary's on his platforms. He's talking to people. He's interacting. He's non-stop.
He is. You are. You're always talking to people, aren't you, on the phone, doing live,
Yeah,
chats and things?
I love people.
Yeah.
Great.
That also worked out for me. You know, like the
Yeah.
fact that we've gone into this world, like that was a huge part of it.
Okay. We're going to take some calls. We're also on Facebook Watch Live now. Carly's called through, wants to ask Gary V a question.
Hi, Carly. Good
Hi.
morning.
Hey, just before you were saying, Kyle, that you were feeling tingling downstairs,
Yeah.
when Gary was just talking about that halfway point in your life, I felt like a real kind of weird feeling in my body, just like, oh my God, you're right.
Yeah, it was like a slap in
Yeah.
the face, like a realization that,
Exactly.
hey, how come I didn't think of this? Gary's exactly right. It's not over till it's over.
And that's right, but like and my whole family kind of just came into my head, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm exactly right. Is that what you guys said? And I feel so different and just kind of motivated to just keep going.
And it's funny that this is what we're talking about. Those are the two themes that I see every single day. A, people don't realize how young they are, how long life actually is.
Yeah.
And B, people are dictated by their family and are pandering to the worst insecurities of either their mother or father. It's an everyday thing. It's extremely obvious.
How did you realize this yourself? Is it just a realization one day, or have you?
I think I was born in the Soviet Union, which was a very tough place.
Sure.
We came to America. We were young immigrants, tough. My dad's mom, my grandmother, was a really tough lady. Her mom was a tough lady. My mom lost her mom at early age, her dad. Like, there was a lot of adversity.
Right.
Yeah.
But my mom's an extreme optimist, and my
Right.
dad's an extreme pessimist.
Oh.
And in that extremity of growing up, I was basically able to see a lot of different things very quickly.
What an amazing
And
experience.
that's why I think
You took the optimistic side.
I take
rather
my
than-
mom's DNA. But what I'll tell you is I'm a very practical operator.
Yeah.
I think a lot of optimistic people tend to be delusional,
Right.
which is why they lose.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? So I think I take optimism and I'm in yes culture, but I'm extremely practical, which is why I've been able to be successful. And more importantly, what I ultimately learned through the way I grew up, which is everybody's got their own problems.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's, that zit you had in high school that you were so scared of, nobody gave a crap.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
they have
It's
their
just
own
a-
shit.
They had their
Yeah.
own stuff going through. You're
100%.
right. That's
Yeah.
right. Olivia is on. Good morning,
Oliver,
Oh,
hi.
sorry, Ollie. How are you, buddy?
Hey, Gary, how you going?
Yeah,
Hey,
good.
good.
Gary V's here. What do you want to ask?
So first, I just want to say I'm in the car park outside the conference today. I'm so excited.
Can you speak properly in that stupid
I understood what he
phone?
said. He's
All
sitting
right.
in the car at the conference I'm about to
You
speak
must
at.
have younger ears.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Go ahead, mate.
So I've got a photography business, and I'm trying to grow it through Instagram, but I'm struggling with followers.
How many
All the
times a
business
day are
are-
you posting?
About once a day.
That's a mistake. How many people, when you post, do you reply to that reply to your comments?
Every single person.
That's a very good job.
Is that what you got to do? Is that
100%. All these people are trying to grow. They post a photo or a video. 9 people, 8 people, 39 people reply.
Yeah.
And they don't reply to them.
Yeah,
They don't say thank you. They, go ahead,
I
please.
reply quite a
It's
bit,
a
but
huge thing.
I don't get a chance to do it to everyone. Should you be doing it to everyone?
If you want to grow,
Right.
it's like push-ups. If
What-
you want bigger muscles, do more
how,
push-ups.
how does
Right.
that help you grow?
Because
Like-
then people know you give a crap.
Oh, so they
And then
will
they talk to
interact
other
with
people
you a
about
little bit
you.
more.
and- Yeah,
You
yeah.
guys got it.
And then how many times a day should you be posting?
I'm a big fan of at least 4.
4. I
Okay.
wouldn't know what to do 4 times a day on.
Well, push yourself.
right.
There's a lot of things that you're not posting about. Ali, you need to
Uh-huh.
if you want to build a business around this, once a day is not going to cut it. More importantly, the reason people don't post more often is they're worried about getting too many. They're worried about how many likes they're going to get.
Well, that's fixed now, isn't it?
no, just
well,
he-
here,
yeah.
just here, yeah,
which is
that's right.
amazing.
What do you
And
think of that? Do you
I'm
like that?
a big fan of it because
Yeah.
I think people have started becoming characters to the algorithm,
Yeah.
and they put out the same shit over and over instead of being creative. Ali, you need to post 4 times a day. You also need to DM 100 people a day that you admire
Yeah.
their work, and you need to interact, not just spam them. There's just a lot more work you have to be putting in. Posting once a day and calling it quits when you're trying to build something is just not enough work ethic.
Right, right. Do you
Right.
think the what we've done here in Australia, where they're trialing out these no likes,
I'm in love with
do you
it.
think that will? Do you think they'll
I think-
roll that out across the world?
I hope.
Me too.
And I'm somebody who gets a ton of likes, but I hope so because I think it will lead to much better behavior. Let's get another call.
What's the next big social media platform, do you think?
TikTok's the only one that has a big shot.
Yeah.
Really?
Okay, yeah.
It already is big.
Yeah, it is huge.
Even I know about TikTok, but I only know about it because of your daughter, Jackie.
Yeah, because she's on it. But you're right. We think that it's just for kids.
Just
but
like
we need
Facebook,
to start
just
getting
like
on
Instagram.
it. Yeah.
Tama, you're on. Calling from Western Sydney. Gary V's here. What's your question?
Hey guys, my question is, I've got an idea that's potentially the next Uber, but my problem is that I'm very comfortable. I'm in a full-time job. I'm on a good salary, all that kind of thing. But same thing as you said, Gary. I think the family pressures and expenses and all that kind of thing. How do I break out? How do I take that step? How do you do it?
You just do it. I mean,
Bravery.
like the reality, mate, is it just comes down to, here's what I would say. Everybody values short-term happiness. If you believe it's the next Uber, you're going to be very, very sad when you're 86 that you didn't do it.
Yeah.
You're gonna live with regret. My big thing to everybody is if you're capable, and I'm just on intuition thinking you are, you can always get another job after you fail. The big question is, are you comfortable in failing in front of all those inner circle people and then going back and getting. You can get the other job. You could probably get a job that pays you more when you go back into the workforce. The question is, do you have the stomach and the mentality to take a big fat L in front of your inner circle? And the reality is 99% aren't.
Is that, and that's why so few people win in life? Is that right?
Correct.
Wow. You know what? I think that I've won in life, and I believe that there's still more to win. But because I was a homeless teenager,
that was foundational for you.
I fell into radio by mistake, and I just saw it as, I fell in love with it. And now the highest paid of any announcer in the country. I never even thought I'd be in Sydney.
I genuinely believe that adversity is the foundation to success.
Wow.
And the reason so many affluent kids are unhappy right now in their 20s is they lived during the era where parents coddled them and tried to eliminate losing from them, and it completely fucked them up.
You need to turn your daughter out into the street as soon as you get home tonight, Jackie.
Or at least let her lose. You know, we just don't let kids lose.
Yeah.
We make excuses for them. It's a mess. Like, losing is amazing.
Yeah. It makes you want to succeed more.
It gives you context. We have delusional 22-year-olds who think they're special because they've been over-coddled by a bullshit system.
That's so true.
Right.
Oh, I want to hear more. Do you want to take more calls?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll have to play a song. We'll get more on standby. Gary V, our special guest. You want to ring him? 131065. Ask him anything. And we'll give you details. We can go and see him live next. A KIIS. Gary Vaynerchuk is here. You want to go and see Gary's tour? Head to, I'll give you the website. Write it down, everyone. Gary Vaynerchuk. Now let me spell it out. VAYNERCHUK.com. Who doesn't want to be at this thing after we've had him on the show
Yeah, we're
today?
loving having you on, Gary. We're going to
Thank
keep
you.
taking calls. So we got Georgia. Go ahead.
Hello.
Hi, Gary. Love your work.
Thank you.
I just wanted to know when I'm looking at my career path, should I follow what I'm good at or follow what I love doing?
Can you afford to live on what you're doing? That meaning, what you love to do you think?
I think eventually, hopefully I can if I'm good enough at it.
I'm a huge fan of happiness over money. I really am. I would rather you take one step backwards, sell your home and rent, stop buying the things that you buy. We have to change the narrative in our society from wealth to happiness. So for me personally, because I just genuinely think you'll be thrilled at the end of the day, I would rather see you take the short-term pain and go after happiness.
Because I feel like if you're happy in your job, the success comes from that.
Yeah, and where she's caught is she's making more money right now, and so she knows she has to take a step back. If you do it right away at 22, you know no difference.
Yeah, right.
So it's a tough question, but if you're asking me, more regret and resentment builds when you're not happy.
Yeah.
And I don't think the money's worth it. I don't think the extra rooms in your house or the fancier car or the extra vacation time, that is all escapism from your unhappiness at work.
So true.
Is worth
true.
it.
I actually hate holidays.
I
don't
get
like
it.
when
Me
holidays
too.
come around. I'm like, oh God,
yeah.
what am I going to do for 6 weeks?
I get it.
Yeah.
Ivan, you're on.
Hi,
Good
Ivan.
morning.
Gary, good morning. It's Ivan. How are you?
Oh,
Yvonne,
sorry.
how are you?
Oh, mate, perfect. Listen, I was listening to you this morning on the way, so this is like perfect start to my Wednesday. I've been listening to you since your wine days. You've been on my device.
you.
So
Thank you
thanks
so
for everything
much.
you do. I
Sure.
really appreciate it.
Sure.
Listen, my question is, I won't take too much of your time. I've just started a new role as a manager. I've been a manager for a few years, but I've started a new role in a new company about 4 weeks ago.
Okay.
I know you're all about people. Over the next few weeks, what should I be doing?
You should have dinner, lunch, or breakfast with every single person that reports to you and ask them what they're trying to accomplish, period, end of story. Whether it's make more money, get promoted, or have work-life balance, figure them out individually and make them realize that you work for them, not they work for you.
Wow.
Oh,
What a good way to look at it.
Very
Yeah,
good.
excellent. So I've started that. I've got a new guy this morning, and I'm teeing up a time already to kind of have a conversation like that with him. So
Every one
thanks
of them.
for validating my
Every one
thoughts.
of them.
So you think knowing what the people that you work with, what they want to do, where their mind's at, what they want to do in life is important.
Think about the two of you in this 20-year run. You're very different of what you want today than what you wanted when you first started here.
Exactly.
And it's the stations and the managers and management's team to adjust to you, not the other way around.
Oh, yeah. And when they didn't adjust, we just defected to
That's
another
right.
station.
That's exactly right. That's right, because you have the
But
leverage.
that's the point.
That's the point.
The point is you want to be a manager that they want to work for as well.
100%.
Exactly.
Okay, Taylor.
Interesting.
Hi.
Your last, Taylor.
Hey,
Good
how
morning.
are you going?
Good.
Good, Taylor.
Oh, amazing. So I'm in year 12 this year.
And I brought out my own swimwear label in January.
Oh, congrats.
Oh, thank you. So I was just asking you, Gary. So I listen to you every single day,
Thank you.
and I know your $1.80 strategy for Instagram is very successful for me. So I think I even just message about like 100 people, like at least a week, just getting their feedback on my stuff. But I was just wondering what you think my next step is now, like on social media.
To turn that 100 every week into 100 every day.
Okay.
Taylor, this is what everybody messes up. I put out this $1.80 strategy, which means leave your 2 cents on 90 different accounts.
Right.
Yeah.
Got
I
it?
love
That's
it.
how we
Yeah,
got
yeah,
to
yeah.
it. You need to be doing, and it's working for you, right?
Yeah.
But you're only doing it 100 times a week, and I want you to do it 100 times a day.
Okay, that's kicking it up a
Instead of
notch.
coming up with something new, you figured out this is the number one mistake that people make. They find something that works,
Yeah.
and then they're curious what else could work instead of squeezing the shit out of the thing that works.
Yes,
Right,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah, of
So
course.
true.
Okay.
So that, Taylor.
Wow.
Okay, perfect. And I was also just wondering, what do you think is a good idea? Because obviously, like, there's so many swimwear brands, like, coming out recently, especially, like, in Australia, down
aware.
in Wollongong. What do you think is a good way? Like, do you think I should just sort of do about the competitive?
The competitors have nothing to do. What you should do about the competitors is spend 0 seconds on it and fucking do the $1.80 strategy 100 times a day.
Be the best
Okay.
and let everyone know.
Just execute.
Yeah.
What everybody else does has nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, the reason people lose, that's what I'm good at. I'm good at getting all my competitors to pay attention to every move that I'm doing, which means they're not doing shit while I'm doing stuff.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Taylor, don't look at
you-
them. Don't worry
yeah.
about what they copy or not copy. Just execute.
It's interesting because a lot of the things you're saying, I'm there wow moments, and then the other things, I'm like, oh yeah, I already sort of do that by default, just because I'm lazy. I don't pay attention to what the other radio shows do.
It doesn't
never
matter.
listen, never care.
It doesn't matter.
Couldn't care less what they're doing.
It's not lazy. It's confidence.
Confidence.
It's not laziness, my man. You were just confident in what you could do. And more importantly, there's no way the two of you were on this for 20 years without giving a crap about your audience.
That's
It doesn't
true.
matter what everybody else is doing.
Yeah.
It matters if you're bringing value to the audience.
Yeah.
Listen, if you don't want to go and see Gary V, you'll fail in life.
But for tickets to
Well, you can
Gary's
follow
tour,
him, but yeah, you want to go and see him
you
live.
wanna
It's
see him.
amazing.
Gary Vaynerchuk.com. That's VAYNERCHUK.com. Gary, it's been such a pleasure having you in
Amazing.
here. Thanks
Can we
for
do
sticking
this every
around.
morning?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd
I
do
just
it.
moved to-
God knows
Yeah.
where you'll be. You seem like you're very active all over the
I am
place.
Yeah.
very active. That is very fair. I couldn't
Congrats,
thank you
by the way.
enough, guys. Thank you so
Man,
much.
you,
Well done.
Gary.
Keep
bro.
helping
It's been
everyone
great.
be the
I'm gonna
greatest they
try.
can be. I love that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. How good's this?
No, guys, you can.
I'm all pumped up.
Yeah, I
Look,
know
you
you
didn't
are.
say anything.
Oh,
Surely
I'm
there's
just sitting here
nothing from the gay world.
soaking it in.
Soak
It's
it in,
great.
my friend.
Wow.
Started the day saying, Gary, that I'd never heard of you, but I'm going to follow everything you do now. You're fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. The gays love you too, Gary.
Humans love me.
Yeah. All humans.